So we wanted to speak about spiritual instruction, if it feels appropriate to you, for how the seeker could come to light, abide in silence much quicker than what we think that could possibly be. And perhaps, Sunyata, if you want to speak on this, and then we can expand on individuals' experience. We thought it's more relevant for every one of us to open up, to share our experience, so that we kind of perhaps would share more appropriate guidance.
Okay. If it shows up as this, the foundation of that which appears to be this is pure silence. It's its natural condition. It is empty. It's free. It's full of unconditional love.
Could there be a method to allow or to help the seekers to abide in that silence quicker?
Okay, let's get into a rhythm with one another, like we're musicians together playing the most sublime music. Let's do this together through space to show that there is no space and there is no time. There's only this. Nothing needs to change. It's perfect and whole as it is. Its foundation is emptiness and silence. It's equally full of meaning. It's like a sound. It is a sound. It's empty of all sound. It's perfect bliss. So just to abide here, just to create perhaps a context for how we might communicate with one another. The foundation is Sahaja. That's common to everything. It can't even be apperceived, but it appears to be apperceived. Semblances of things in the nature of peace show up as a way, but there's no way, there's no path. It's immediate.
Does that mean there's no instructions as well?
For that we communicate for is always transcendental when we're interested truly in the spiritual. So there's no harm in that. No harm in that. For that sort of looks to qualify, because it always has to be intrinsically through the apperception of this, or perhaps for what it's not. Also, that's good. So naturally, a quietude comes about. There's grievance or ideas around how it should be. Some of that is utility. That's immediate, easy, simple. One just simply does that. There's actually no doing in it. The energy comes up out of an apparent self to meet that. It says it's doing it. There's no doing in it. If you look very, very carefully, it's just energy of what an apparent surface meeting an apparent surface. simple. It's really simple. If there's healing to be done, let healing be done. If there's rest to be done, let rest be done. If the energy is exuberant, dance, or whatever, and wherever you find your exuberance to be, share it. It's organic, nothing special, even of the consciousness, nothing hidden. Fabulous as itself, beautiful, perfect, simple, really simple, not the aberrations. That's the knot of the self trying to claim something for its doing. Look carefully for what is an attribute, what's a workable attribute, because most of the attributes are just about utility. There's nothing extraordinary about it. It's simple. You know, like the Zen masters, collecting water if you can or not. The energy just meets the surface, a surface from a surface. There's a positioning of what we call the self-ego. That's just like a crown positioned in a locality in the energy that claims that it's doing it. It's unreal. That's the only illusion. That's the only illusion, that one. It's very interesting. Be interested. You can be interested because that's interested is broadly this in its intelligence is coming from an intellection rather than this. But there's nothing special in this. What I'm speaking about is here inherent in everything. It's not an attainment. It's not an attainment. But however it shows up in what looks to be temperament, what looks to be emotion, is just energy meeting surfaces. Let it be. Sometimes there's a healing that needs to happen. It's so there is no separation of body mind or separation of body soul. It's all this. And I'm not trying to mystify anything. For wherever science or knowledge seems to show up, test it for how it shows up in each of you. Think about it. Look at it. Don't accept. Let it come from this center or where there appears to be a body. Don't reject the body. A totality.
But how does one feel that inherent state of existence?
You want it now? You know this, Ekomananda. I know you're posing a question to me to contribute to the broader circle. Thank you for that, beloved. Appreciate that. It's not necessary. One has to be, this is this showing up as this. The completeness is already here. For what we look to, we speak about karma or getting things right or sadhana or moving toward a point. But those incremental values for where it shows up in body or in thought or in emotion or in what we call the spiritual, there simply needs to be accepted for where it is. Rest in the energy as it shows up to be, because there may be natural healing that happens. You see, sadhana is the same thing. It's an abiding in the natural state. How will the natural state The natural state's not going to show up as some fabulous thing. It may do. But to focus on that prematurely is incorrect. There's nothing in this because it's there. But equally so, for what looks like vasanas, or what you would call karma, or the difficulty of circumstance, all these things is an incubation. It's perspectival. It's, if the only apparatus here in the waking state is to the periphery of what we call consciousness, awareness, and then to look to what is an attribute. But in the end, even consciousness is an attribute. Interesting. So then where is the one that's positioned? What is this? What is this? What is this? Look at it really, really carefully. And it's not, this goes beyond the metaphysical. It's immediate. It looks to be ordinary, but it's incredibly profound. It's organic, but not on a level where it was about sense gratification or appeasement of an ego positioned through its hierarchy of intelligence. This intellection is different.
Well, could you then explain the difference between this versus the Tantra method? Now, for those who are not familiar with Tantra, allow Ekomananda to explain. Tantra simply means if one follows a prescribed method of processing, then you could, if you do your sadhana diligently, you could expect or you could achieve or attain certain outcome. Well, here we talk about there's no attainment, there's no process, there's no method. And perhaps if you could expand on this, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, the interesting thing is in all sadhana, for the exquisite beauty or the moving of parts that happens in sadhana, Sahaja seems to sit throughout it, slightly to the side. It's the undefinable part. It's but there's something that's apperceived. It's the comparison of where once a self in its utility closed within an apparent ego form was this. Now it's this which was undefinable. This is an iota of the percentage of the manifestation of this as a body-mind thing. But not to separate it because it can't be separated. So what is that? It's, you have to look at this. It's very interesting. It's profound. It's as equally organic as it is spiritual. There's no separation. There's no separation for any of us right now. The only aberration is that we've become cerebral for always constantly thinking that if there's any aberration in the body, it's not right. But in the body, sometimes it needs to go through these things. We think that the emotion shouldn't show up as a field, but in the aberration of emotion, something shows up on an energetic level. And for what we call it is only one side of it. What we're identifying is just like an iota of a percentage of the manifestation. So there's an inherent healing in it. Even desire can look like this. So, but I don't we're deeply in sadhana now, so it's all fine. In that, for now, take the total healing it gives. For the suprasensitive Ekomananda, in this, it's immediate. It's immediate. It's immediate for what exactly it is. There's nothing different, and to refute nothing. And to sit, if you wish to sit with that. but not for what the cerebral makes meaning out of it. That's only a certain articulation. The mind talks. The root for Ramana, if I interject and add something of Ramana, is through the heart, balanced by breath. Heart balanced by breath is for any aberration showing up in body, mind. And there you're in the suprasensitive. So then from that point, it's Atma Sarap. It's if we come through Tantra, it's purely the auric and absolutely everything else. It has to be that too. All right. Or that marriage is happening anyway. So you might as well just reside in it, beloved. It's like that's the love song the marriage is through the astral until the astral disappears vibrationally. The astral is just connected with, where we are a little bit uncertain and fearful about emotional values appending to the cerebral. This only has to do with utility. This doesn't have to occupy all your life. Even if you work 18 hours a day, the cerebral is only that much to the energy of this. And if we talk about sadhana, there's nothing that needs to be a sadhana in this because this is part of the natural state. It's only with our attention. I'll tell you a story. I was driving with a friend on Wednesday. We'd gone to a bakery and he was talking about Svarana, the deep listening, the Omkar, the energetic field. And he said, yeah, but how do I access it? And I said to him, well, stop and listen to your engine car moving. And he went into the engine in absolute totality. And he looked at me with blissful eyes and said, it's harmonious. Really, really simple. This isn't about teaching, it's about the immediate. What's going on here is direct communication or making some points clear because we've got to get over those cerebral attitudes. Because for me, you are liberation. You're like the arms and legs of God, bodies and forms and all that spirit. It's just one thing. And what each gives to this even as a locality in a body form is like having many arms. It's beautiful. The love song is so deep. People clamp it down into the cerebral for meaning values, for making it right, for making it's all love, unconditionally beautiful. And in that is the whole organism, all of this, even with its aberrations, even where it doesn't feel right, even for its collective healing, all of that. You can't define it as one pinpointed thing anywhere because it doesn't have a locality. That's Sahaja. And it's also this. There's a bridge that's native to the being, which is the foundation of this manifesting as a body. See? And that's in all of us. And it's not learned. The language gets a little bit eloquent as you learn to fly. You have to fly. You have to just fly. And then you get the words. It's beautiful. You have to fly. You have to let yourself fly, for whatever that means, in any little place, but where it's not in the acquisition, there's no acquisition. But but the conditioning clamps it down for being a form. That's just because there's an illusory self thinking that it has to position its crown down its chakras or something. None of that. None of that. No crown at all. Why would you weigh yourself down with something so silly? You know what I mean? Do you get this? Can
That's
I,
wonderful.
can we get some other people to sort of ask questions? Let's get talking, because
Yeah.
it's, if you talk and ask some questions, I know Takia difficulty with language. So, you know, like for wherever there's difficulty with language, we'll just work through it. But those things that sort of come to heart, maybe
Let's
it's
start with everybody share your understanding about Sahaja, the natural state. And what do you experience as natural state? Have you experienced the natural state? We know the answer, but we wanted you to
no, we
share
don't.
your
Oh, no, there's no answer in that, please. One doesn't know it directly. It's this, it has to be spoken about really carefully.
There you go. The teacher has spoken. So
All
wonderful. Wonderful. So, who wants to share about your meditation, your sadhana, and your understanding about Sahaja? And then from your sharing, we can, we can stir up some conversation from there.
Nama, come closer.
No.
Sandeep, hello, love.
Last month, actually, after talking with Sunyata, I experienced it on the Skandashramam. That time, actually, my I didn't feel anything. Only my head I can feel. I cannot feel my hands and all. I am my backbone is going backwards. Around 25 minutes, I really felt
Do
the
you want to
original
adjust
Ramana
your
Tattva.
camera a little bit? Just sorry to disturb you. You want to place your head properly? Yes, that's better. Perfect.
Uh,
We
so
can,
I cannot feel anything. Only in head I can feel, and my backbone is going backward. And 10 minutes before only, first time I met Sunyata, he explained about that Sahaja Tattva, and Ramana gave me in that Skandashram. It's really wonderful experience, experiencing that Sahaja Tattva first time.
good love.
It's really like
Yeah,
very
you know,
happy.
very, very good. You know, like the early part, it's not even limited to the body. It's not a locality, nor is it a spirit. It's this, just as it is, nothing hidden. There's nothing hidden. That's really important. It's here now. What shows up, that there. And what the self does is it's positioned down in experience where it looks for gratification, like sense gratification, or there's a cerebral gratification that happens. None of that. None of that. None of that. You know, for where, you know, there's a lot of a culling going on in the spiritual language in the West at the moment. But we can be a little bit more generous, sort of being out of, because I'm quite happy to meet through Vedanta, you see. For me, you know, like there's an elegance everywhere. I really very, very much focus on the itihasa, in the comparative value. So for wherever your interest is, spiritually or even religiously, all of these things are wonderful vehicles for working it through. So everyone has their priorities too. You know, like, and there appears to be levels in it. There actually aren't any levels in this. There's no hierarchy in it, but there appears to be hierarchies in experience for the supra-sensitive aspects. So some go toward very, very serious sadhana to look at, and like Ekomananda's practice is very much in the sadhana, to really examine those things so that she can facilitate for where those focal points are in terms of healing. For some of us, it's not really, really important. What's important is just simply what shows up. What you find is there's an exuberance of energy, and then there's a lull. You know, like there's lulls. And in these times, if you have the opportunity to rest and simply be in meditation, go there. The mind might be active. The emotions might be active. Fine. Just watch from the viewpoint of where this shows up beyond the attributes of a self, where it's beyond the attributes of the self. Do you understand what I'm saying, Sandeep? Like the attributes of the self
Yes,
is for,
yes.
yes, you got me, like the priorities that look to be so. So if you have the luxury of sitting and contemplating, look toward this, because you're enjoying the experience of it. That's okay too. That's how it's showing up to be. So enjoy the experience of it. Beautiful. There may appear to be episodes. Beautiful. It's like colorful tents with light sometimes, and sometimes it's a lull, but where it goes down into a valley and everything about the body emotion has to adjust. Often then you just hide away for a while. Want to go into sadhana naturally, you see. So, and all good. Whatever happens, this is the real freedom. The real freedom is to do it as it shows up to be. People talk about karma, but they want to do incremental stuff so they can empower themselves. That's why we don't talk about karma. If there were a karma, it happens naturally. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get into you, Rama, in a minute too. I want to talk to you, rather. So this is good, Sandeep. Good. Yes, it's good, love. Yeah, carry on. Charyavati, Gautama Buddha.
Thank you so much for your valuable information, Sunyata. I really actually to connect with you. It's all our lucky to have an experience from you.
Oh, that's lovely. Ditto, darling. You're like beautiful. You're like a dance for me too. I feel you. Yeah, it's very. Look, I get it. I'm funny about the idea of the teacher chiller role, right? But also I understand that it really does make the way really, really quick as long as you have to understand that actually what's showing, it's hard to believe, but what's there in you is identical here. But this just doesn't get in the way. So it is blissful. But sometimes it has to go through valleys of healing too, love. This does. The body has to go through valleys of healing. And sometimes it goes in really deep here and will just be there for also. And sometimes there's exuberant energy where it dances and it paints pictures. See? So I've touched it. I made a mistake. I can't see you, but you can see me. That's all right. Can you hear me? No.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm able to hear you. I have seen your wonderful arts and all behind you. We are able to see.
But it doesn't all this. None of that matters. The thing that I'm pointing out is there's an energy, and it's perfect. This has done so much devotional service and bhakti, and it's happy to do as much as it needs to. If it were to be that too, all these things are beautiful. But sometimes it gets this beautiful free space where it really just has space to itself. And it can go into deep sadhana, or it can look at its creativity too. That's beautiful. Both, all free. This showing up as this. That's for us all. And it's not it doesn't have to neglect those things that go on in the world or people's troubles, but it doesn't get hooked into that. Doesn't need to, because emotion needs the engagement of the belief in thoughts. The feeling state of the body, and for what is the easy state of the utility of thought, is really straightforward. It's really, really direct. So it just does simple things, really simple things. It's, like, it doesn't have to be an action hero. It can do really simple things, lovely things if it has, or it can sit quietly. If it has, it can lay down and just rest. It's totally free. Because its exuberance comes back, its love comes back, its generosity comes back. Sometimes it goes into valleys, sometimes it appears to be on peaks. All that's just appearance. Anyway, beautiful too. And if you can sort of take it with a sense of equilibrium, and for what shows up as the inner child, perhaps, for how we deal with an ego is the inner child, or that it's been conditioned to do things nicely. Well, that's all right. It does things nicely in a particular way. We might love that child of the ego, love the child of the ego, and then you can make sense of what's useful or not. This isn't about renunciation. It's there's an immersion in non-duality. But also there's that where it works with material, where it feels separate, where it has to work a body or work a health or work an intelligence or navigate emotional circumstance. All these things are perfectly good. It's all organic, energetic, like a surface, because it's not now having to live through the crown of the child ego or wherever it positions itself for desire, for whatever. It can see that. It can utilize that too. Sometimes it's beautiful. The child is innovative. It has an immediacy with what appears to be a material world. So beautiful too. And everyone within their own context too, perfectly fine. And to fit it perfectly into exactly where you are, perfectly fine. For the adjustment between polarities, perfectly fine, because it's all immersed in this. For what appears to be sadhana looks in all places, even the mundane. It will sort out a digestive system, perhaps. It deals even with the mundane. It just, all right, this is jhana. This is jhana. This is the nature of knowledge. Knowledge is different, but it's not for holding, like we learnt by rote. This is organic, like even the movement of knowledge is like a river passing by. It doesn't have to clutch anything because knowledge is immediately seen by the buddhi. It's like that. But that's all I'm doing is describing the natural state. And this isn't an acquisition. You've seen it in your own lives. It's not a repositioning even. It's here, now, working immediately. There's a degree of surrender in it. It's not really surrender. It could be surrender into just this, and not for its contextualization, the mind making meaning over the circumstance, you see. And then it sort of says, well, this is this that I've seen a million times. That might not be true. In fact, I would say it's not. It's probably organic and energetic. There's no forsaking a body. just because a body seems to be organic and not permanent. It also has its beauty and it has its permanence in that we're not attached to it. It's all organic. And, you know, for however and wherever these words land, you know, I'll say to my Indian gentleman, itihasa, the histories known, including the myth and the whole fabric, everything, all evidencing of a memory past is merely organic, meeting now this energetic. It has its own perfection, its own knowledge, its own inherent wisdom. It doesn't need to be told. You know, if there's guidance at all, it's just remembrance, but not of the self and not of the attributes of what it actually is in, what's throughout, what's immediate. This, you know, with not an iota of time or space, not an iota of thought, no distance at all.
How is your meditation going, Sandeep?
It's going really good actually. 2 years back, I have started my spiritual journey. It's going really good actually. Anything you can suggest regarding books or anything the
I'm going to come.
starting for beginners? For beginners, any spiritual books or
Is your question
anything?
to Ekomananda or to Sunyata?
Both actually.
Sunyata, could you address that?
I'm coming back at the moment. I haven't got to. I just go like that, mate.
Can you sit closer to your camera?
I couldn't see you for all that time. I just went to put my camera. I had to turn off and come back in. Hey, hello, Karan. He's here too.
Yes, Sandeep asked the question, do you have any book that are recommended for beginners?
I like the idea of the living book. The living book. You know, that was the initial idea out of the Sikhs. It's a living book, but it's not a book. It's written here in the heart.
Nice,
And for
nice.
wherever it's a contraction, one simply balances it through breath. You know, just stay simple for now. Don't load too much conceptual stuff over the top. Like, you know, like it finds itself in the vacuity of space. Then, you know, like for what appears to be rest or sadhana, right? Or creativity, and for whatever that means for you. Um, um, do that book. That book. That book's the best book. Yeah, there's no.
Through our therapeutic experiences, what we realize is life is your master. Now, here we come together doing this. There's nothing in this, but this helps. So, to be specific, Ekomananda, perhaps we will ask you back this question: what would you like to achieve by reading a book? Then it could be more specific. We're not rejecting the idea of reading books, but the reality is the book does not give you this transcendental state of Sahaja, right? So
Yes,
having to do your daily sadhana, your daily meditation, daily breath work, daily yoga, daily chanting, daily dancing, daily puja, this is wonderful. Having to understand Yeah, this is intellectual. There's a component of intelligence here to understand what Sahaja actually is. Ramana has a little book that actually explains the Sahaja state by comparing a movie screen to the Sahaja state, but Ramana calls it abiding in the self, right? And that is actually the Sahaja, but we use different terms. So when you go to read books, this can be confusing because if without a teacher, a guide to explain what is A, what is B, A and B actually the same thing, you wouldn't know abiding in the self is Sahaja, right? You wouldn't know. And what does that mean, abiding in the self? Abiding in the self basically is
We're
to
we're post self, no self now.
see it's evolving, right? And so this
Have a
is
listen.
even evolved to another level. I mean, there isn't any level, but consciousness or non-dual energy evolved itself, and so we don't even use the self to speak of this. Sunyata says abiding in this. Ekomananda says abiding in the silence, right? And but it all means the same thing. It means to see the self as the divine light and the love, and you are that. And that is not deniable. This is a universal truth. And this prevails every corner, every single cell in your body. But you weren't told that. Books does not even tell you that. Right? So you go to read books can be confusing. Therefore, we throw back the question, what would you like to achieve by reading a book? Then we can scale down a little bit, recommend something maybe more appropriate or not recommend any books at all. Because we are thinking reading books would give us something. There's something in the books. Ramana also says, no books can take you to the self. Self or this Sahaja, the realization of the self is already happening. It's already there. It's already there. We're all realized beings.
Well, Ramana actually
100% right.
confessed that he put the position of the self in front of it because it's the ultimate carrot, because everyone's interested in the self. And he actually admitted to this. So he put that carrot before them and said, there's yourself. But then the one that looks at an object is the one that is apparently the self. And so one looks and keeps on looking. And what you find is through sadhana, you sort out all your attributes, all the way to consciousness, right? Then the masters usually say, I am consciousness, right? But consciousness is an attribute of our sixth sense, which shows up as thought in the waking state. So to the periphery of all perception of thought and consciousness, what abides there? Now that's the ultimate sadhana. There, that eye can only look at itself and see nothing. Nothing at all. Totally free. There, abiding at the very edge of all phenomena, within, throughout, everywhere, identical to this because it's one and the same. It can't go beyond that perception. Any apprehension of this through a body-mind is only that. But the phenomenon shifts, or that we create a perspective. In the perspective, we're completely now beyond the body. We don't sort through chakras, which was what our old preoccupation was with sense gratification. Sense gratification is simply looking after a body and dealing with the energy that arises in it. Even sometimes where it creates aberration, where the thought clusters for where it shows up in a mind, which is geared and created to be our utility, emerging space between the energetic field and what is an apparent material world, is our mediating force. and not to reject any of this. Like a totality. And then it's all energetic again. And it's more than that. It's the periphery for where the carrot was set to look at all those things, including consciousness, and I am that which stands before. But it goes more than that, because in the very fact that there is no, for all the most profound spiritual experience, there is no self in it. There's no self in this. There's no self in this now. That's the only illusion. But the only way we can sort of talk about that is the position of the crowd. For what is attributed to the ego when it comes to the utility of the attributes of learning how to be, right? That's simple, beautiful, elegant. If that's the child put the crown there so it functions nicely in the world, but not out of guilt or that now there's no more emotion in that being. It's not functioning out of an emotional base. It's not doing it because it's trying to compensate for anything. It's just wholly and solely organically moving with everything as it is. For where if friend or beloved is sort of saying, can you give me some help or some time for this? Then you go, oh, yes, that's fine. I just do that. And I'll be able to help you there. It's easy. It's no big thing. And those things where everyone's trying to supposedly escape out of a conditioned space soften, and their grip and their tie loosen. It's not real. Because that comes out of the apprehension of the self trying to perpetuate itself through its illusion, which is roped up through a condition of repeating itself constantly through favorable experience or the echoes of what gave it any type of sense gratification, whether it was cerebral down through all the emotions. It's not concerned with that. This is petty. It doesn't need that level of emotion. That emotion might arise. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not to sort of say it shouldn't happen. It might be part of the energetic organic force coming through the body for any variation. It's not to be a judgment over that. It's just to be a discernment. Because the natural energy won't get it into trouble. It will, because it's really emanating out of a disengaged emotion. There's no emotion in it. It's not tied to the cerebral sense. It can be, but it's not necessarily. The cerebral sense is just a utility for animating things to have the intelligence to do particular things because you've learned to do it. But that thing that system of rote has nothing to do with what this is. That rote, that sense of rote, is part of the crown being clustered down somewhere in the mind to say that if I'm superior in my intellect, then I'm positioned well. That's an illusion. Or it positions itself for a lower gratification of sense gratification where it's tied up with sex or food or whatever. That's an illusion. Not that any of that shouldn't happen or should happen. That's not it. Because there might be a naturalness for where, say, a young man and a young woman meet with one another and want to have a baby. That's all perfectly good. All these things are all fine. All these old ideas are gone, finished. It's the end of it. This is a lot more free. But it's not the freedom of Osho, of non-responsibility, because also there's an inherent intelligence which comes around it, which emanates from the Buddhi for all it knows. So it's going to be wise, you see. So this is about freedom. And sadhana can be in all these equations, all these life equations, even if you choose to go back into bhakti or you choose to go into mainstream work, supposedly, because in honesty, all there is bhakti. We don't think so. We can't see that. But all equations are balanced in an orb. It has its own health.
Does that answer your question, Sandeep? It's a long-winded question to answer.
Well, you can see the book. I'm pointing
Yes,
out the book.
Sunyata, and you are telling to experience it on your own, not by reading books. You may
You
sometimes
are,
you may.
you are the chariot. You are the chariot.
Let him ask the question. He has not get to the point asking his
We
question
have to
yet.
make that point. For Sandeep, he understands why I'm communicating with him here like this.
Yes, yes, I got the answer actually. You both are telling to experience the live thing from your own chariot, not by reading books. You may get confused. I got the answer.
The chariot is you. Yeah, yeah. Beautiful, lovely, elegant, lovely.
Excellent. Now let's move to Rama.
Um, Let me put my understanding first. So what I understand is this itself, this is right now is a natural state. It's always existing. These aberrations or the difficulties with material, mental, emotional, they arise and they fade away. Just you need to be aware or observe and look into that. So look that. Don't get carried away with these aberrations or difficulties. So it's always there, the natural state. You need to go after anything, you know, to achieve anything or attain or even practice anything. So all we need to do is to be in that the natural state or the look for that natural state. That's the summary that I can take from Shunyata's teaching. And the second part is that did I experience the natural state? I wanted to say I didn't, but I say that I don't know. Uh, uh, so what am I doing? So basically, trying my sadhana. Whatever I'm doing right now is to um, basically, trying to minimize the thoughts. My chaotic mind. What Sunyata says that is everything is mundane things. Even so, you need to go after those things. Just look for your natural state or be in that natural state always, no matter whatever it is. Like even the biggest emotions that take you. Even those are mundane, but for me, like even normal mundane things, I'm going after them, and it's a bit chaotic always. There are lot of thoughts. So what I am doing is trying to minimize those uh, thoughts or cessation of thoughts. That's what I'm trying to do. But what I so it's a bit difficult for me to keep that awareness or to keep that natural state in mind or to look for that natural state because it's always the small thoughts or big thoughts are always just bombarding and and keep losing my awareness. That is my current state, I can say.
Right. Yeah, there's the preoccupation with states, and so really, for that thought arises isn't a problem. It's that it stimulates emotion, and emotion is felt in the heart as a contraction. You feel it, like it's very, very subtle, and so usually with because you're doing really strong sadhana, it's important to incorporate it with breath. Breath is really because it balances constantly. There's a balance that needs, it's a really simple thing. The heart is here on the left side. And this is something Ramana pointed out. There's a vacuitous place in the opposite side, which represents breath. It doesn't represent, it is breath. And that's the balancing form for where we, like in native circumstance in primitive time when this organism was developed, that that look like fear or flight and all those modalities, chemistries, which give us a range of supposed pleasure. These are all sophistications, but initially it was there for the survival of the organism. Now it's used in a completely abstract way in contemporary time. That organism thing, which looks to be emotion, which comes out of thought, right, is just the sophistication of thoughts that have been given to us. There's no thought or any thought, not one thought, which is original. It's all been given. Everything, even your name, is given. Everything that became defined as Rama is given. Every bit. So all that battle between polarities is the functionality of the mind sorting through problems, because what the arena of thought is geared as a perception to balance the body for circumstance of fear and flight. But in the contemporary realm, it's abstract. It's all this peculiarity. We have to worry about money and rent and making sure the parents are right and where are they exactly. We have to be able to intuit where they are through space against incredible noise of the world. But what we call beloved doesn't appear like a star form, like a cluster anymore of, at least we have mutual belonging. It's separated. Contemporary time is abstracted in thought, and the whole condition is amplified through thought, and it's coming through media, it's coming through everything. Now, for us in our own self-mastery, we would say, I'll go here and I'll go here and I'll find a clear way, right? And that proves to be difficult. But, interestingly, it does sort of lead us along a way which has a certain soundness to it in terms of the self. But the self's still claiming all of that. And this is really subtle. It's really, this one's not so easy to get to. Here it has to look, because, when we've been conditioned and habituated for so long in being so cerebral, it's hard to pull out of that. It becomes the preoccupation all the time. So you find, and this is why we're here, it comes to a point where it just looks like anxiety. Yeah. And so it has to look carefully. It's in the heart. It's in an immediacy. It's not about sorting through all the ideas. Like you have to go through every single millions of all these ideas that have been thrown at. It's in the heart. The heart is the measurement of where it touches us. For this as an organic being in its wholeness, the whole mass of consciousness all at once, or however it shows up. For that's because there's no problem in the dream state. And big part in the deep sleep state. In the dream state, we might get the aberrations of mind which follow us in a day, or we might get visitations of openings of light. There's the variations of polarity that show up in a dream state. Yes? Yeah? So looking at this really, really carefully, where is the crown of the self, Rama? Where does the crown position itself for its apprehension? It's interesting because it actually, this thing's illusory. It's not actually, but it looks, the aberration of it is so irritating that it's like, it looks like it's a cage. It's not real. I assure you. I assure you. It's not real. That's not real. There's no cage. no matter how dire. There's no cage. No matter how difficult, there's no cage. It has to be seen for that. Like, where is it in the attributes? You see it in, if that you're doing sadhana, I would say to you, what is your meditation like at the moment, Rama? Can you share that?
It's a bit up and down. One day it's okay, and 2 days it goes very. It's a bit
And
chaotic, or it's
where is the criticality for when it goes wrong? Can I ask that?
a bit hesitation and feeling a
Like,
bit negative.
right, good. And it doesn't feel like participating in anything? It doesn't want to participate in anything. It doesn't want to have to do these things. Is it like that?
A little guilty feeling after that.
Yes.
Why I'm going after
Yes.
this and everything. Yeah.
That you need to, when you're like that, just if you're in your room, you just put a cushion in your room and you sit there and you give it what little food it needs, and like situate it so it can have some tea or something, but let it have it. That's part of the sadhana too.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
not that.
Yeah.
It's also that,
Yeah.
because
That's
the one who
the same
sees,
thing.
you see that, the one who sees that, it will see it. It might feel a little bit difficult because the chemistry is not good. The way you balance that, the same incubation will happen whether you go into the chemistry of it or not. The thing would be simply this: breathe, use breath more, use breath more. Don't let emotion, don't let the kickiness of the chemistry of emotion get into the body, because then it's sort of too much of a drain. You breathe. Nothing special. Just breathe. Just breathe. Nothing fancy. No special pranayama. Just breathe.
Thank you.
Simple. Yeah. And you'll find that, let yourself have these times, because the energy is obviously coming back, and it also has to have its abiding. The rest is beautiful too. Sahaja is in the rest too. Surprise, surprise. It's all rest. Even when it washes dishes and does things, it's all rest. Even when it's dealing with thought, it's all rest. Even that. It's interesting.
Can we share something? Just to respond to Rama sharing about that guilt, because we wanted to be really centered with this Sahaja state, or being into nothingness, being out of body, feeling that you just divine light, you feeling the bliss all the time. And the thought does come in. For us to say thought is not ours, it's simple, but to realize that, to really be with that, we are not the thought. It does take, well, for this body, Ekomananda's experience, yesterday and the day before yesterday, these 2 days, she only worked on one idea. The body wants to get a sari. Now she's got 3 saris now. Now she's thinking of the 4th one. And this really grounded her brain, if we may say. She wants to, there's a part of it, the body wants to control the desire. And we know that nothing needs to be controlled. So we spend a good 4 hours Friday just sat from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 4 hours of work that through. And so she's determined to work through that desire and thinking, if I don't work through this desire, I won't get up. That's like Buddha. If I don't get enlightenment, I want to get up on this Buddha tree, right? So the same thinking. So at the end of the 4 hours, it becomes a lot lighter. It's all like gone, digested, right? It disappeared or absorbed. And so she happily got home. And yesterday, this thought came back again. Again, it became a quite exhausting sensation because there's this sensation in somewhere in the chest, in the thymus gland, in the right heart center. And so we just observe that. And we are aware of it. There's no need to suppressing it. There's no need to trying to control it. So what the body tends to do is, I don't like that the feeling. I desire this much things, and I know that I actually don't need it. And I'm trying to suppressing it. I'm trying to squeeze it and trying to disappear it. Yeah? But that's what the body, the organism is trying to do. So when you come to be watching that, to watching all these different feelings come in, this tension, there's tension in the body, because the feeling when it appears, the desire, it appears, and then you're trying to control it. There is associated feeling that appear, manifests through the body. The chemicals working inside, and to the point, what happened eventually, it just, the realization is why the body is actually spending so long to work through this little thing. So we just spend, we
Yes, well,
everything to like, I mean, well, that wasn't actually what happened. And what happened is like, we look at the whole package, right, of this event. It's a little event happened. We simply felt like there's no need to actually do anything about it. It's not ours. Yeah, it's not this. So when we say we abide in this, is, of course, this 8 hours, 12 hours, 2 days of work is sort of help the body to receive back to this, to have this intimate connection with this. So this eventually absorbs everything. When this absorption happens, it doesn't matter. It becomes instant. It becomes, when outside of all these 8 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours of grinding, this pain, this contraction happen in the heart region. It still feels a little bit, but it settles down now. So we are like an outsider watching what is happening to this body. And this you all experience. It's just different emotions. It could be guilt, could be shame, could be pain, could be sorrow, could be, abandonment, hatred towards somebody, all of this.
With all those conclusions, see, because the mind works so abstractly, it can throw up one polarity of thought with another polarity, and then before you know it, it's making meaning between those things and claiming that because the thoughts arose in them, they're my thoughts. This is wrong. Those thoughts can come from anywhere. If they were put in you in the first place, what is the contrasting thought? But it's more where it meets the body. So there's also thought arising out of the body, not just from the cerebral point of view. There's thought that is thrown up out of the different organs and centers in the body. So that's where you come to Tantra, Ekomananda. And for that question, again, it applies the same. It's breath. It's breath. And it's not to control it. It's just to temper it enough so the chemistry doesn't get too kicky in the body, because you get the point. I mean, like, how long do you have to be agitated in an emotional state? Why? So, but the conclusion isn't in the mind. The conclusion is in the chemistry of the body, because the mind is throwing this stuff and it's already been triggered. eventually what ends up happening in the sadhana is you see the same thoughts or something about the same thought apparatus or condition of thought or however that appears, or circumstance or whatever triggers it, a smell in the air, it can be sensational, any number of things. And you look at that in those things and there's no reason to attribute emotion to it. It's like, why? It's not even your thought anyway. But it positions itself in these different localities. And so the trick, sort of, and I'm talking particularly about sadhana here because I know, Ekomananda and Ram are both in sadhana. So, this is really particular. But anyway, really, really interesting. Breath work is the best for you. Pranayama is, but I really don't think it has to be, one through one nostril and gauging. You can do that in Vipassana, and there'll be certainly wonderful insights. But that's not the mechanism for just this simple sadhana, because all we're wanting to do is, once the emotions are steady, it doesn't matter the space of thought. If it's creative, it's created. If it's guilt orientated, I should be in another locality doing something else, or, for whatever, desire based or anything, that's an illusion. It's not even in the chemistry vicinity of its situation. There's no point. But to say there's no point in it isn't quite right. The contemplation of it might be very, very important. And here, you sort of get, this is why a lot of the teachers started talking about karma and exploring this type of vehicle. But we can spend a lot of time here. I would simply say, bypass the emotion for now. Images may occur, all number of things may occur, associations may occur, but that's all fine. That's interesting. You can be curious about it even. It doesn't matter that you're in thought. It's not the thought that engages it. It's that you give it a meaning value for a feeling base. And if you can get that one, then it's really interesting because a lot of stuff falls into place. You go, oh, it sort of sorts out a lot quickly. Rather than pinpointedly every single desire and every single blah, blah, blah. It's really, you find that it's actually the sheet of an epistemic. It's an epistemic aspect of mind orientation. Epistemic basically means for how we position meaning values, for how we've been conditioned to put meaning values. The conditioning, which is a utility, is good, but some of the utility we learnt as a child is nonsense. A lot of it's collision, giving it meaning, premature soundness. So these things don't have to be sorted out like every single bit. It could be if you wanted to write a book or something. And you might want to, or you want to be a teacher or something, all good. It's not to make anything right or wrong. But, like you can travel light. If you want to sort of just resound, Sahaja is the natural state. As soon as you find yourself just chilled, moving through the world, that's Sahaja. That's what's supporting it all. The blissful state is when all those pretensions and anxieties for what looks to be sort of rightness is gone. It's not necessary because it can ascertain it just through discernment. There's an immediacy in every moment. It chooses 6 bananas and this and that and this. It's really simple. If the mother needs help, it goes, all right, beloved, I'm a long way away. You have to leave me with that. Like it becomes elegant. It becomes elegant. And that's also in the sadhana, that elegance. It's all the way through because circumstance can trigger that response long after you've had incredible illumination. Incredible illumination may happen. It already has. If you really look, see this scaffolding in the mind pulls down experience and puts it into its own world. It's insidious. Memory and all your past memory will change just to relax into this, just to as it is, the best you can. But it's okay to breathe. It doesn't mean that you have to endlessly suffer pain for the sake of it. It doesn't mean you can't contest something or speak up. You're totally free for however it shows up because it's all part of the chemistry. It has its own, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. Even with our injury, with what appears to be unwellness, all these things. It's not that we put up with anything, but we're not talking about circumstances we have to put up with. We're talking about interiors. We're talking about interiors. That is the attributes. That looks to be separate is the attributes, but not to forsake them because their utility is good in the world. What we want to do is throw out the dirty bathwater and keep the baby, the loving one, the beautiful one, the innocent one, the one in total awe, the one that never lost it, the one that's always been here. The totality of it, not for its iniquity and going right or wrong and the constant concern to get it right and wrong. That happens just in a moment of discernment. It's not when this isn't a self with a cash account. There is no self and there is no account. It's an illusion. It doesn't, if it has any facility, any utility, it's apparent. It doesn't disappear. It's beautiful, elegant. Yeah, beautiful, elegant. This now, even what looks to be the challenge of going into sadhana and surrendering to a sadhana. Also, that's beautiful. Everything.
Wonderful. How is Tahir doing?
It's in the shadows there. Oh, look. Hello, love.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, love.
I'm fine. Everything is good. I don't have big questions.
We're just in abiding. Okay. Takir, we're just abiding. For me, your dream is sort of like a place in the world, which gives me sort of like a heart to be there. Very nice. Yeah. Anyway, don't want to get too metaphysical. It's not metaphysical. It's sort of just a love thing. It's good. Everything going on nicely with your family, Takir? Family good? Easy?
Yes, yes. Family is good.
Bit better? For you?
I'm also good, but after returning from Tiruvannamalai, Malaya, I had some problems with teeth, some pain with teeth. I don't know reason.
Right.
Maybe my body didn't cope with that energy of ashram or something like that.
You become the body becomes a little bit more sensitive. So, like for when certain tensions drop away, they just drop away. It gets melted just for something where there's an inquiry and an understanding. It's something seen. And in that scene, there seems to be a softening, and certain things aren't held up around the apparent self anymore. They're just not held up because they don't make any sense. And that can create sort of what looks to be extra sensitivities in the body, and also all the extended perception including thought, because thought is actually perceptive. You have to remember that that's our sixth sense. This idea of getting rid of thought is silly. That's our sixth sense for having a body. So that's beautiful. But all these things shift. It's an organism, the whole lot, energetically too. So also for that we call life and the waking state we celebrate in, that just looking at that really carefully. It's more like energy meeting a surface, like a meaning, value, or way of speaking, or a way of consuming food, or a way of sleeping, or anything, a way of talking with your father, a way of talking with your mother, all these things. Like it's all just a fabric of energy meeting, and there can only be meeting or not. If there's not, it doesn't matter. If there is, very good. And if you emanate out of here rather than here, it's just energetic love. It just has a listening. So for however it might help or whatever people require, it becomes really simple because people don't really want much from us. Not really. We make it bigger than what it is. Make it bigger. Everything else good? Your mother and father good?
My mother is okay, yes, and my father died 5 years ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. No, you didn't tell me. All right.
Yes, COVID-19.
All right. That's very young. And you have an older brother or a younger brother?
Older brother.
Okay.
He is married and he has a wife.
All right. Do you live together or
No, no, he lives in our house.
Yes, that's what I thought.
I live
Yeah.
with mother.
All right. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting energy. Now that helps me understand things better. Yes. Yeah, well, the meditation is still good, taking quiet time and just, or contemplation time, perhaps even, is good. The care, but just quiet time, quiet. Who else? Is Karan still there? Are you there, Karan?
We have Karan and Josh.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you doing this? Have you finished up your work for the day? Very good.
No, I'm still at work actually.
Oh,
But I
okay.
was
Good on you. So everyone's settled down in the hospital?
no, I'm in a nursing home. Yes, everybody is settling down, so it's going smooth. It's going good.
A good week for you, young man.
Yes, it was absolutely very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, look at the smiling one, big full of teeth. Karan has been sort of moving a lot at the moment. He's he comes through a lot of like reading. Reading is good for you, isn't it, Karan? Like
Yes, I think reading and listening helped me a lot, and also the presence of the true guru, the master, is the most important. Like you mentioned to one of the person here, that live guru, the living guru. So that's all. I think that's very important, because when you have the questions and you're confused, there should be someone to answer you spontaneously. And
has the master been showing up? Has the master been showing up, beloved?
yes, the master is here.
It's interesting sort of for the quality of a communication. That's what it is.
Yes,
Interesting
yes, that
what that
that's true.
has. There's also a succession here because this is a sampradaya, which
Yes,
there's there's form in here as well. We're lucky to have that, because a lot of the non-dualists don't have this connection through the Indian schools, and for seeing the authenticity of what Advaita is, but it has to be reminded too all the time, because it can get stale by just being caught up in ritual. It has to be the living word. But the living word is in you. And then we communicate rightly for wherever we find a source for clarity. So that we have to be able to identify first. There's a lot of talk now. There is no teacher. That's true. But there's times where, like it does work with a dense material, and for going into that material has its own authenticity. Like there's everything has its right time too. And being patient in a way for what looks like karma or sticky thought or whatever, like for however any of these things show up. Sometimes the value for being able to sit with that too has a quality. Often the healing that goes on within, it's not in an apparent self, it's in the organism, but it's even more profound than that. In this, there's no space between any organisms. So if the healing happens here, there's it. I don't like talking on this level, but it has its effect energetically all the way through, from families, loved ones, friends, community, societies. You can't, this is not small. It's not located in a body. It's not located in a body. It's not soul and it's not God. It's best not to speak of these things.
Have you seen orange box?
Hello? Am I speaking with? Ryan had to leave. That's probably a patient appearing for him. Oh, no, you're there. You're right? Back?
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right. Oh, good. Understandable.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. This new thing of really realizing that's called this, and even that's positioned as a self, is just purely energy, meeting surfaces. So big things, little things, small circumstance, whatever, it's all energy. It's just energy. And that purity is purity. So that it seems to be having a conversation with content. It seems to be divinely looking carefully at attributes, distinguishing what it is and what it isn't, supposedly. Clearing out, and then coming to this nothingness, which is exactly what? It has to rest in that. That doesn't come from the self where it crowns itself in some position in a body-mind sense. I mean, when it's driving a car, obviously it uses its mind, but you see, it's not that. That's an illusion. And we don't say it's all illusion. We look really carefully. You look really carefully. And in looking carefully, it looks at something and it will see that there's no self in it. It's just been given. The attribute has a certain utility or not. And everything else was just, it's fine to make mistakes. No big thing. Nothing. No big thing. Finished. No big karma. No big account for getting it right again. All finished. Nothing. All clear. Not that. Just what shows up. it finds that then it's just simply this moving through whatever. It's not a set of pretensions anymore to make it right or to avoid this for that. Doesn't need to do that. It's free. And it's free to do nothing too. Absolutely free. Reaction doesn't happen anymore. It just responds. It responds. It's energy meets energy. If it's a dance of love, then let it be a dance of love. It's all good. If it's somber and just needing to just be simple. Thanks, love.
What about Josh and Anna Maria? Josh is doing very well.
Hello, Josh. Hello, come on in. You can say hello. You there? Maybe he's not there.
Our beloved Anna Maria sister.
Hi, hello. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to keep still at this moment. But this is healing for me, being here.
Good love. Yeah. You need just to rest, like cushions, love. You got
I have 8 cushions. Oh,
well,
eight cushions.
You can do that with love circle too. That's perfectly acceptable. You can be in 8 cushions. Well, Anna Marie has broken a couple of ribs, so she's sort of working with physicality. But anyway, it's all right. Love. It's
well, you can lay down. Maybe just lay down. You don't have to show up. You lay down. Turn your camera off.
I can for a short while, then I have to move, and I just want to sleep. I want to sleep for a year. Yeah. But it's okay. There's nothing to be done. It takes its time to pass.
It's time to pass.
So I'm meditating a lot. I'm meditating a lot more than usual.
Good girl. Yeah, perfect. Time to pass. Good love. It's perfect, beautiful. Nothing is lost. No, to come to that one, it can be really interesting. There was a big space in the middle of the week where all it could do was be a cocoon, right? And it just disappeared. And it was like a healing, like a bubble of healing. And the body was just incubating. And it was just there, just that. And there seemed to be links with beloved, which would come in like aerials and just connect. And right on the moment, a message would come through or a telephone would come through exactly on the name that seemed to appear in the cocoon. It becomes really, really simple, like let yourself be your total healing. I love be a total healing and be comfortable. You'll be fine. It's a good incubation. This time will pass, actually. It isn't time to pass.
How about Josh? Joshua was trying to coming up, and then Anna Maria.
Hi.
Hello, come on. Are you two? Can you be a visual so I can see you?
I'm in bed.
You're in the bath.
No, in bed.
I had to tease you.
What a luxury bed.
He's been there all week. He's doing the big incubation. Good old Josh. I'm just incubating. Now, the temple's everywhere. Now what are we going to do? I don't even have to walk to the temple. Oh, no.
We are the temple.
Very good. Very good. For the incubators, very good. The incubators. Yeah, incubation is good. Very, very good, Josh.
Yeah, just a afternoon nap, you know.
Have you been laughing a little bit more at that repetitive song in the shower?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I've got it right now.
Oh no, you're like, not that song again. I'm going to have to sing it. No, 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 not that song. I couldn't be more shanty than what I am, but not that song. You just have to sing it, Josh. Just sing it. It's perfectly good. Just sing it. Yeah. It's got some lovely tones. Maybe you need to embrace it fully and let it be. Hey? It's all good, love. It's been a good week.
Yeah.
I shared half of it with you. It's quite amazing being here, supposed distance being a thing. Love for where its connectedness is really intricate. It's really intricate. It's intricate. Somehow, I can't explain it, and I don't want to get into anything extra phenomenal. But, it's so lovely, lovely to have everyone here. It's so lovely to have everyone here. A warm space. It's good. Yeah. There seems to be a lot of work, and then all of a sudden the obstacle just falls away, and it just falls into place, and you can see it contextually, and somehow it even becomes extraordinarily useful. It gives you an apprehension of something where even the value of thought is good. It's not an aberration, it's a wisdom. Now it's set in the space of understanding, it's seeing it in perspective. And now the intellection sort of shines down on that was once pain and now is just a wisdom. It's just a wisdom. And it looks to be simple, and a lot of them are just so simple. Breath is really, really simple. Balancing out emotion is really, really simple. For those who are looking. And, sometimes you have to be vigilant with it if you want to. You don't have to endure the chemistry of emotion arising because of conflicting thought. You want to position yourself higher than that. The crown has to be higher. And, what's spoken about in Advaita is that the crown goes to I am consciousness, and then the crown and the I am consciousness is not even a station. It's just within all the attributes that we look in. Yeah, so in all of that. And one is developing wisdom out of those circumstances with understanding. It holds space for everything to show up as it is. Okay, if it's dangerous, one can do something. If it really needs to be rectified quickly, one can do something about it. But mostly things aren't like that. Just give it space. It's energy wanting to meet energy, and the energy that wants to meet, right? Your energy that goes out to meets energy that's wanting to meet. That's all that's happening. But what we give it value and meaning to, we just look at very, very carefully. And then we speak out of discernment. In fact, it just falls out naturally out of the energy of this. And it becomes more refined, more elegant, sometimes like a Gita. Sometimes to be pinpointed, to be able to understand a circumstance and know how to have everything be okay. Sometimes knowing when to walk away for that there's no listening from another. That's something really important. When it's really quite obvious that no one has a listening, you're in your right to walk away, even if you stay in the space. You don't have to drink that up. It's free, because that's just coming out of the illusion of an apparent self. And the illusion of apparent self isn't just happening here because there's been an induction to believe that this is a solidarity for its namesake, for its legal encoding, for its placement in a country, in a culture, in a family, in a community, in a society. All these things are just for the benefit of utility. Well, love is there too, but love has to be mutual. Where one is caught up in their own gratification, love is not felt. It's not felt, not even apprehended. So you don't have to waste your time either. You can be economical. You can be discerning. Discernment is out of the buddhi. Discerning is the first element of light coming into the thought. So you just practice your discernment over whatever's showing up. And look at the energy comes from there. The energy is coming from all of this simultaneously. It's not located in the emotions or the thoughts. That's just something which appears within it, in the same way as the world appears within it. Elegant, simple, quiet. Loving, free, generous. Generousness goes with freedom. Generous with giving even its silence. Generousness can be silence. Generousness can be giving nothing. Like really nothing. Really good.
Slowly take your time to come back to the body. Come back to this world. That was fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for your divine presence. Sunyata, thanks for your sharing.
Thank you for the opportunity. Lovely saying hi to everyone. Really lovely company to be in. Can I just simply say, you can connect with me anytime you like. Ekomananda's, these are a few announcements. Ekomananda is about to step into Pasna for some time, so we won't have her facility. But anyway, for however you can find me, you're certainly welcome to say hello whenever you want to. How the language develops, and lots of love, never separated.
Have a lovely evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Lots of love. Be the light, and you are the light. And I'll see you next time. Yes, feel free to connect to Sunyata on your own. Message or call him on WhatsApp. It's perfectly good. He's just painting. He's the child. Just paint. So your call, your message would actually brighten his day. A little bit of entertainment for him.
A little bit more than that. We've had, there's been some really beautiful communications during the week for the opportunity to share. So, good. For wherever and however the energy shows up to be, trust that for how it goes. And
I'll be in touch. If maybe try and make some nice things to eat to bring.
oh, that's
Thank you.
Okay.